We're talking with Jim Richmond and Elvio Fernandes about the Rochester Music Hall of Fame inductions. You're going to be playing with Daughtry, and talk about why you're performing at the hall.
Gibson is one of our companies that endorse the band. Chris plays Gibson Guitars exclusively. I play Gibson. Our lead guitar player plays Gibson. So, I think Chris has a signature model.
Wow.
Yeah. That he was able to design and
What
stuff.
is it about the guitar that you like so much? Just the style? It's just the classic?
It's classic, it's Gibson, it's a Les Paul, it's, you know, for me, and Gibson acoustics always sound amazing.
Right.
It is funny how musicians do get an affinity or a loyalty to a particular guitar, a set of drums or whatever it is. And it's kind of a fierce loyalty that I think that most musicians have.
It is. It becomes an addiction. They collect them, and, you know, expensive addiction.
Now, when does your buddy Chris Daughtry get to town? Is he?
We have a full band show in Tampa on Saturday, then Chris and myself and Brian are flying to Rochester Sunday, and then we have a series of acoustic shows that we're doing to eventually, hopefully, release an acoustic EP. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, it's gonna be cool.
The life of a jet-setting rock and roll musician.
It's fun.
Tell me, I was talking seriously with you about this last week, about life on the road and how tough it is to be on tour when you have young children like you do and all that stuff. It sounds great. It sounds like it's something we'd all want to do, but there's another side to it.
It comes at a price. It's the greatest thing and the worst thing at the same time, because, I mean, just last year, I probably spent 9 months out of 12 on the road. And, you know, I have a 13-year-old and a 9-year-old son, and it's tough, you know, because you start to feel guilty. Am I the most selfish guy in the world for doing what I'm doing? But at the same time, it is how I provide for my family right now. So, but it's a lot of fun.
And family is here, right? Home family is here, but you travel a lot.
Yeah.
So you do come home, of course, to be with them. But it's interesting to hear you talk about that. A lot of artists don't, well, maybe they do it amongst themselves, right? They talk about it amongst themselves.
I mean, this couldn't, the band is great for me because we're all in the same boat. Everybody's married with kids.
Sure.
You know, now if I was out with Motley Crue, it might be a little tough. You know what I mean? Yeah,
let us know if that happens.
It won't happen.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Jimmy, talk a little bit about we were talking about the process of the Hall of Fame, and I remember one of the hardest things in those first few years was everybody wanted to put everybody they knew in that first year.
Well, that's true. I mean, you know, actually there was a lot of planning that went into this before we even had the first show. We worked for 3 years before we had our first show. And it's exciting that the board members have stuck together and been diligent about this. And there's a lot of planning. I mean, trying to get the right people, like Steve Gadd should have been in many years, but it's a schedule.
Right.
So we're trying to work with that and work with the different schedules of different people. So there's a lot involved.
Yeah.
And and as you said earlier, you do try to make sure that it's a show that is diverse, that you're going to have a different kind of. You're going to be something for everybody, I guess.
Yeah. Every year we try to do something different. Well, our opening for this year is going to be different than last year, but we try to make that opening very exciting. I'm excited about this year.
What's the word on the street, if you will, the musical street about this show? You know, are artists hearing about it and saying, you know, I'd really like to be a part of that, or maybe we'd like to perform at that, or you know,
all the
is
time
it word getting out there?
Get requests to people that want to perform. If I can be of any help of any way, I'll be glad to. You know, there's a lot of excitement about Elvio and Daughtry coming, Chris Daughtry. A lot of excitement.
You've got some pull.
Probably more for him than me, but that's cool. Listen, I know my role. I know where I am.
No. But you're from Rochester, which I think a lot of people you
and
know, love and celebrate.
It makes it homegrown, having Elvio be a part of that. And at his stature, it's just wonderful.
Stature.
And I think, you have stature.
Estatura.
You do. I think back on who's in already. I mean, you've got Chuck Mangione in, Gap going in this year. Don Potter, Bat McGrath, Lou Gramm is in. Steve Gadd will be in.
Yes.
And then you go back and then sometimes historical figures are, you know, people, Son House, people who are no longer with us, and perhaps we don't know their music as well because we don't know the story. And that's what the Hall of Fame helps to do, is tell stories that we don't know.
Well, that's true. We try to be a little bit educational so that people can be educated to what Rochester has in our rich history of music. And it's just phenomenal.
And Doug will be inducted in what year?
Oh,
You promised him.
Doug plays guitar.
Yes.
He does play a little guitar.
We'll be part of your tribute band.
Yeah, I'm part of the. I'm in the plans for 2054.
I want to play Shaker.
Elvio, thank you so much for
Good
being
luck
here.
to you in your show this week.